of Kaduna State call for government intervention. Gunmen invade residence of Plateau Commissioner, abduct wife and daughter. On the foreign scene, United Nations says more than 4.4 million Ukrainian refugees flee war, a record since World War II. Hello and welcome to the News Hour on Trust Television. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for joining. And now the details, beginning with political stories. Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi has joined the 2023 presidential race. He declared his interest at a Thanksgiving service organized by the Rivers State chapter of the All Progressives Congress. Amechi, who is from South, has severally denied being interested in the race before his official declaration on Saturday. The former Rivers State governor becomes the 6th APC aspirant to officially declare his intention to contest. Others are Bola Tinubu, Southwest, Orji Uzor Kalu, Southeast, Rochas Okorocha, Southeast, Dave Umahi of Southeast, and Yahaya Bello of the North Central.
I stand before you today to declare my intention and submit my application to serve as your next president. I did not come to this decision lightly. I have served our nation for the last 7 years as Minister of Transportation. For 8 years before that, I served as Governor of Rivers State. In the preceding 8 years before that, I was Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly. Within this period, I've also served as the Director General of President Buhari campaign organization twice. These 23 years of service have equipped me not only with great experience in governance and public service, but also compassion for the ordinary citizens of our dear country. After more than 2 decades in the public arena, I had wanted to go on holiday and spend more time with my family before charting a new course outside politics. But at 56, because I'm 56 years old, and a member of the generation born after independence, who has seen the good, the bad, and the ugly of Nigeria, I'm compelled by the urgency of our present challenges to place my experience and proven capacity at the service of the nation at the highest level.
Meanwhile, Governor Yahaya Bello of Kogi State says he will nominate the first female vice president for the 2023 presidential elections if he emerges the flag bearer of the All Progressives Congress and given the approval to choose his running mate. Bello said this at the ongoing 2nd annual Governor Yahaya Bello seminar for Nigeria's political and crime correspondents in Abuja. The governor said that he was committed to running an inclusive government carrying women, youths, and persons with disability along as he did in Kogi. He said that his administration as governor of Kogi State raised 2,000 millionaires, adding that if elected president, he will lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty.
If given the opportunity, if my political party will give me the opportunity and free hand to choose who will run with me come 2023, surely I will not leave the constituency of my mother, which is women. And I assure you that if ever I was given or I will be given that opportunity, I would wish to have the first female vice president come 2023. If you refer to my speech, I think I have a copy here, a few copies that I want you to distribute. I did promise that I will build on what Mr. President has promised of ensuring that Nigerians, nothing less than 100 million Nigerians, are pulled out of poverty by year 2030. That is in about 7 years from 2023, by the special grace of God. The question will be, what have you done in Kogi State? How many millionaires have you made? And I will make bold to tell you that within the limit of our resources, coupled with the various challenges and demands on our resources, we have been able to make nothing less than 2,000 millionaires in Kogi State within this short period. And our government, by the special grace of God, will create that enabling environment that even if you have 1 million, in no time you should be able to turn it around and multiply it. Forget about what is put out there as whether zoning or no zoning. What is important is who is that man who will be the leader and put the party together.
Now, the National Rescue Movement has inaugurated its national executives to oversee the party's affairs ahead of the 2023 general elections. Speaking at the inauguration ceremony in Abuja, the newly elected national chairman of the party, Isaac Ude, promised to wrestle power from the All Progressives Congress in the coming elections. Ude also decried the poor state of the economy, the insecurity situation of the country, and promised that his party will do better if given the mandate.
For a long time, to rescue them from the hands of people that lack fear of God, to rescue them from the hands of people that have no conscience, from people who could not give them security, electricity, affordable housing, good roads, affordable and quality education in our public schools, good health care system, among others. This time, it is very difficult for the masses to travel by road because of the unchecked insecurity in every part of the country. The train system is no longer safe, judging by the series of attacks on the sector in recent time, more especially the ugly incidents on Abuja-Kaduna corridor. This is the only political party that has only one summarized agenda for Nigerian citizens, home and abroad, and that agenda is to rescue our great country, Nigeria, and Nigerians from this unacceptable, stagnant situation we find ourselves.
And now, away from politics, insecurity in Nigeria has ruined the lives of many and subjected several others to lifelong depression, agony, and economic deprivation. Katsina State, which is still having its own share of insecurity, has lost hundreds of lives, millions of animals to rustling with property worth billions of naira destroyed. In this report, Abdullahi Ahmadi says thousands of farming and animal rearing communities, among other things, have been devastated. The report.
The very few people remaining in these communities have gory tales of rape cases, armed robbery, and other assaults. The absence of traditional institutions, apart from those like schools, courts, police, and other security outposts, which have been sacked from the affected communities by insecurity, worsens the likelihood of survival. For the past 7 years, people in these ravaged communities neither go to farms nor rear animals. You see, anybody that tells you that we can go to farm in this part of Katsina State, especially the areas ravaged by this insecurity, is telling you lies. There's no way we can go to farms. The insecurity has bedeviled and has continued to bedevil our villages. Our villages have been ransacked, so we don't have any means of going to the farms. You see, we don't even have the oxys. We use oxys in most of the farming activities in this part of the country. And our oxys, our cows have been roasted. We don't have the means, we don't have anything to sell, to go to farms, to buy fertilizer, to do anything that will support us in going to the farms. How much more of the issue of insecurity we are facing, where we don't have anything, and these people are almost everywhere. To these children, the future is not promising, and they no longer go to schools like their colleagues in other parts of the country. People that were once comfortable are now rendered poor, with many of them begging for alms in cities and neighboring towns. Even at that, their lives as beggars in the cities promise nothing other than vulnerability to danger and other crimes. We are afraid. Both the students and the teachers are afraid of going to schools. We cannot go to school because this insecurity has ravaged almost everything. Most of residents here cannot even have the comfort of discharging their religious obligations, such as 5 daily prayers, fasting, or Jumat prayers with ease. Majority or almost everyone here must pay levy to guarantee their continued stay in the community. You see, it is almost time for us to start conveying manure to our farms, but there is nothing we can do because these people are almost everywhere. They can pick you at any point and they can kill you at any time. So we can't go to our farms now, and I don't think anybody can dare doing that. The above scenario, many believe, calls for more government commitments to restore lasting peace in the affected communities to enable farmers produce enough food to avert food crisis. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
A federal high court sitting in Gombe has reserved judgment in a suit seeking to nullify the elective congresses of the People's Democratic Party in Gombe State. The suit was filed by a PDP stalwart, Umar Chikairi, who claims that the conduct of the elections into the party's executive positions at all levels in Gombe State contravened provisions of the 1999 Constitution and the PDP laws. Ibrahim Ismail reports.
The plaintiff, Umar Chikairi, is suing the former governor of Gombe, Ibrahim Dankombo, PDP national chairman, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), Gombe State Independent Electoral Commission (GOSAIC), and others. Speaking to newsmen after the court sitting, counsel to the plaintiff said there were irregularities in the conduct of the PDP congresses in Gombe State.
People's Democratic Party wanted to hold their congresses. He secured the requisite forms, got the nomination forms, filled all of them, submitted them. What he had was that some names of individuals have now been made listed as the officials of the political party, the PDP. So he now came to this court saying, the Congress that I am interested in the chairmanship of the first defendant has now been held, or what has happened. Some people are parading themselves as now the chairman at the state level, at the ward level, at the local government level, without notice to him and some other persons.
Counsel to the PDP said they have filed a motion urging the court to set the case aside.
Then I leave the rest for the court to determine whether there was state congress or not, whether there was local government congress or not, whether there was world congresses or not, and whether Honorable Chikairi participated in all the congresses is asking the court to set aside. That will be determined by the courts and not by us.
The case, which was filed on February 2nd, 2022, is a fresh battle that threatens the unity of the PDP in Gombe ahead of primary elections expected to produce candidates who will participate in the 2023 general elections. The case was adjourned to May 20th, 2022 for trial. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
Gunmen early Saturday invaded the residence of Plateau State Commissioner of Environment Usman Bamayi, abducting his wife and daughter. Confirming the incident, spokesperson of the Plateau State Command, ASP Uba Gabriel, said that men of the command are already on the trail of the abductors to ensure safe rescue and release of the victims. Hoodlums suspected to be kidnappers have abducted the wife of a popular cement dealer, Mrs. Rosemary Chinwe Obi in Lokoja. Mrs. Obi, who was kidnapped at gunpoint at Peace Community area of Lokoja yesterday night, was on her way home in the same car with her husband. According to eyewitnesses, the gunmen in their numbers trailed the husband's vehicle. A popular dealer of cement and other building materials in Lokoja shot severally at his car, forcing him to stop before they abducted his wife to an unknown destination. The State Police Command Public Relations Officer DSP Williams Aya, who confirmed the incident, assured that the perpetrators will be arrested and brought to book. Now, Catholic priest of St. Mary's Catholic Church, Sarkim Power in Niger State, Very Reverend Dr. Leo Raphael Ozigi, has regained freedom after 2 weeks in captivity. The Secretary, Niger State Chapter of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Pastor Raphael Opawoye, confirmed his release to Daily Trust. He said that the cleric was released on Friday after the ransom was paid, but did not mention the amount that was paid to secure his release. Recall that the priest was abducted on Sunday alongside 44 other villagers on Gwada Sarkim Power Road on March 27th. Now, Katsina Command of the Nigeria Police on Friday neutralized one bandit and recovered 50 rustled cows belonging to one Alhaji Ibrahim Maikudi of Gago Village, Dutsinma local government area. Addressing newsmen at the command's headquarters, the public relations officer in the state, SP Gambo Isa, said that the incident happened at about 1 a.m. when a distress call was received that terrorists numbering about 40 attacked the village and rustled cows. He said the area command in charge of Dutsinma led a team of policemen to the area, engaged the hoodlums in a fierce gun duel, and successfully repelled the terrorists, neutralizing one of them, adding that many terrorists escaped the scene with gunshot wounds, saying that search parties are still combing the area with a view to arresting the fleeing terrorists. In another development, the police in Katsina have rescued 15 victims of human trafficking at Baraji quarters, Daura local government area, who were being conveyed to Niger Republic and possibly from there to Libya. Staying with security matters, the FCT Police Command says it has arrested 3 suspects for producing and distributing substandard paints in the FCT. The suspects are Prince Will Okechukwu, Moses Nkamanka, and Efe Itua. The trio are the owners of a company known as Exquisite Designs and Sindep International, which produces substandard Isolem and Palmolite paints. The command has also arrested 2 one-chance armed robbery suspects and recovered victims, valuables, and suspect operational weapons. They are Sani Abdullahi and Abdul Idris, both 19 years. A statement by the FCT Police Public Relations Officer, DSP Josephine Ade, described the arrest of the one-chance suspect as a huge achievement to the command, as the suspects have been on the wanted list of the command for their involvement in series of one-chance crimes in the FCT. According to the statement, the suspects upon arrest were found in possession of various knives they had used in causing bodily injuries to one of their victims. The victim and her valuables were rescued and recovered. Now, Governor of Anambra State, Chukwuma Soludo, says 85% of the people who carried out attacks in the state are not indigent. He stated this when he visited the Aguata Council headquarters, which was attacked by suspected hoodlums. The governor disclosed that the attack on the council headquarters was a reprisal attack after security operatives destroyed the camps of hoodlums in some parts of the state. Some residents suggested ways to control the agitation.
Yes, between Agnes Chuku and Oboji. And that's a camp in which they continue to operate unhindered. And for the first time, they have been there for more than a year, more than even 2 years, that we've been getting reports that they were operating from there. And so yesterday they were smoked out from there and the camp destroyed. And I think as they were fleeing from the place, cowardly now decided to come and set ablaze the local government. Offered olive branch to all those who are in the bush to come out, surrender your guns, and we'll help to rehabilitate you to play critical roles in the development of Anambra. Majority of the people doing this, the statistics so far, the people are arrested, 85% of them come from one of the states in the southeast, another 15% from another state in the southeast.
Soludo for me is too fast on the approach of that sit at home. Sit at home for now in southeast have come to stay a kind of.
It's difficult to fight these people. I'm not saying they should stay, but I'm telling the government should look for a means to give them job, employ them on something they will be doing.
You're watching the news hour on Trust Television. Coming up shortly. Trade to make up the unavailability of white-collar jobs. Details are more after the break.
Every patriotic Nigerian should hear this. Any politician who means well for the people will never allow themselves or their supporters to engage in any violent, destructive activities. No politician who truly wants to serve the people and develop the nation will encourage his followers to destroy properties or take human lives before, during, or after the elections. The Nigerian public must watch out for these traits and isolate any politician who encourages supporters to engage in violence. No genuine politician or patriot will cause trouble and seek to destroy the very society which they aspire to lead or develop. Politicians who have the good of the people at heart will not allow themselves or their followers to engage in violence, destruction of properties, and then taking of lives. Be vigilant. By their words you shall know them. Shun violence. Stay away from politicians who want you to do so. Let's join hands to make the 2023 elections peaceful. This message is from the National Orientation Agency, NORA.
Thanks for staying. You're watching the news hour on Trust Television. Here's a look at the top stories again. Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi has joined the 2023 presidential race. Plus, over 100 refugees in need of urgent assistance after bandits' invasion of Giwa local government area in Kaduna State. Now, elsewhere, 5 people have been injured and are currently in a hospital receiving treatment after a windstorm on Friday night in Shiroro local government area of Niger State. Residents say that more than 100 households were destroyed by the windstorm, including a hospital and a worship center. Co-convener of Concern Shiroro Youth, Sani Abubakar Yusuf Koki, said the level of damage is really devastating and beyond quantification, as many households have been rendered homeless. He said the situation in Kuta, now following the destruction caused by the windstorm, needs serious government intervention. The federal government has inaugurated a new national forest policy for sustainable management of forest and improved livelihood in the country. Minister of State for Environment Sharon Ikezu, while inaugurating the policy in commemoration of the 2022 International Day of Forest on Friday in Abuja, said it will also reduce poverty in the country. She said that the policy will sustain management of forest ecosystems, environment, socio-economic growth, and provision of goods and services for domestic purposes and export for the benefit of the nation. Hassan Musa, the permanent secretary in the ministry, said that the National Day of Forest is celebrated every March 21 as declared by the United Nations General Assembly to create awareness on the importance of forest to mankind.
As contained in this policy are centered on sustainable forest management and national development agenda. This policy enunciated relevant strategies in line with globally accepted priority areas of sustainable forest management, which are the extent of forest resources, biodiversity, forest health and vitality, protection, functions of forest, productive functions of forest, socio-economic functions of forest, and legal, policy, and institutional framework. Distinguished stakeholders, ladies and gentlemen, the present administration, in pursuance of its mandate, is committed to deliver equitable dividends of democracy, enhance poverty eradication, food security, and sustainable development, climate change mitigation, of course, and adaptation towards enhancement of our community's inclusiveness in sustainable forest management.
The theme for this year's celebration, as you're aware, was Forest and Sustainable Production and Consumption. This year's event was delayed in order to include the launching of the National Forest Policy, which is a necessary tool for the growth and development of the forest sector. As you are aware, the sustainable management of forest resources enhances economic, social, and environmental values to all types of forests for the benefits of the present and the future generations. Forest is one of nature's most efficient and complex ecosystems in the world. The importance of forests cannot be underestimated, as we depend on it for all our survival, from air we breathe to the wood we use. Other benefits include the provision of habitat for about 80% of worldwide biodiversity, watershed protection, prevention of soil erosion, climate change mitigation, among others.
Now, Abia State Governor Okezie Ikpeazu is encouraging youths to acquire skills as a way of making up for the unavailability of white-collar jobs. This comes after he was certified a shoemaker. Recall that in May 2021, the governor enrolled as a trainee at the Aba Footwear Academy, where he learned the art of shoe design and coupling. In an exclusive interview with Trust TV in Aba, the governor shows off his self-made slippers upon completion of the training. He believes that this will encourage the youth to acquire skills and aside academic qualification.
By profession, but it's a big shame. These are the shoes I produced, you know.
Very good finishing, I may say.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know, when a lot of people saw your videos and your pictures enrolling, registering for, you know, to train for the shoemaking thing.
And I'm very serious about it because
a lot of people would think maybe it's just
no. How can it be that I don't have a skill apart from teaching biochemistry? How can it be that I'm embedded in an environment where people are doing things and I can't do a shoe? It will be a big shame.
A lot of young Nigerians will think, well, I mean, you are the governor, so why are you even learning a skill? You are educated. You got your PhD from when you were 30, so why are you even, you know, learning a skill?
That is the mistake we make. Every person from this part of Nigeria, my thinking is that the person should have an additional skill. I had a choice to choose between shoemaking and tailoring, but I chose shoemaking. Because we're trying to create an ecosystem for shoe manufacturing.
Watch Trust TV's documentary on Made in Aba for more on this interview. Now, the wife of Oyo State Governor, Mrs. Tamuno Minini Makinde, has urged the people of the state, especially women and youths, to identify their potential and work with relevant government agencies for empowerment. Makinde made the call at the Adire Market Week hosted by the wife of the Ogun State Governor, Bamidele Abiodun. The report.
Makinde said youths and women must identify their skills as potentials for wealth creation and poverty alleviation while leveraging on government support.
Look inward. What do we have? Then reevaluate what do we need to actually market the skill we have. So we look inward, take what we have, and appraise where we need to go. Look forward. Then improve on those things we need to improve on. Then we can now either teach the skill, market the skill, or best protect the skill we have and also use it to make money. So look inward. What do we have? For example, Ogun State, they're looking inward. They have Adire. Or your state, what do we have? Ashoke, Adire, other things. Pot making, drum making. We can look inward and promote what we have, turn it a trade, work with the government, look at the resources, and empower people at the grassroots to get more work.
In her address, the wife of the Speaker, House of Representatives, Salamatu Bajabiamila, urged support for local producers to be patronized and empowered. The Adire Market, week sponsored by the Ogun State Governor's wife, is a high-level engagement for women empowerment and promotion of culture in the state.
Adire, like most indigenous fabrics in our textile industry, was confronted with a decline in both production and consumption in the past years. It is a huge relief that the trend is reversing rapidly, with more people, particularly women, producing, retailing, and wearing Adire with pride. To keep this momentum, we must be intentional in ensuring that producers are supported and empowered.
The event had in attendance former President Olusegun Obasanjo and his wife, Bola, former Governor Aremu Olusegun Oshoba and his wife, as well as wives of Lagos and Edo State Governors Sanwo-Olu and Betsy Obaseki.
Now, social media has been identified as a tool that is capable of destroying norms and religious values if not properly harnessed by the Muslims Ummah, especially the youth. The Registrar of the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, JAMB, Professor Ishaq Oloyede, said this in an annual Ramadan lecture in Kaduna.
Lowered our moral and cultural values to the extent that some used to be taboos have now become norms. The cumulative effect of social media on our nation was unquantifiable, as it has damaged our value system and the national ethics. The collective resolve to ensure that government does not regulate social media has further given the impetus to the widespread acceptability of its content.
So what we do individually as a nation, every person should first take care of himself and his own immediate family. If everybody will take care of his immediate family, his children, what are they doing? His household, what are they doing with this gadget that is new?
The theme of the topic, the social media and effects on morality, is apt. The social media has become a companion to mankind globally. It has its positive effects, it has its negative effects.
Our responsibilities in the right order. From home, these things can be treated. From primary schools, empowering the local government to make sure these things work in the communities, then we can begin to get the proper foundation that will be very difficult for anyone to dissuade into bad, immoral behavior.
We'll now take a quick break. The news hour continues shortly. Thanks for staying. This is the News Hour on Trust Television. And now moving on, the federal government has said that the cause of the collapse of the national grid that plunged the nation into darkness is being investigated. The ministry in a statement said that the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, the operator of the national grid, is in the process of restoring supply. According to the statement, the federal government was working to deliver on the much-needed reforms, including SCADA, that are critical in improving the capacity and reliability of the national grid. The collapse is the third in a month, but the federal government assured that it is taking steps to address the problem to avoid a reoccurrence. Central Bank of Nigeria says it will begin payment of 65 naira rebate to exporters who sold their goods through the importers and exporters window at the end of the first quarter. CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele said this shortly after signing the term sheet between the Infrastructure Corporation of Nigeria and the Independent Asset Managers on Friday in Lagos. The Apex Bank had promised to pay 65 naira bonus for every $1 of repatriated non-oil export proceeds sold at the inventors and exporters window. The official FX rate, which was part of policies, plans and programs for non-oil exports that will enable Nigeria earn $200 billion in foreign exchange repatriation. The RT200 FX program, which stands for the race to $200 billion in FX repatriation, is a set of policies for non-oil exports to enable Nigeria attain the goal of $200 billion in FX repatriation. Now, on the foreign scene, the U.S. Latino American Chamber of Commerce Africa has called on foreign investors to invest in Nigeria's untapped economic potential for the country's development. Ifeoma Ejiogo, African representative, ISLAC Africa, made the call when she led a delegation on a courtesy visit to the Minister of Foreign Affairs on Friday in Abuja. Ejiogo said that the aim of the meeting was to seek partnership with the ministry to drive the growth of the country's economy and actualize its goal of creating business links between Africa and the world. She said it was important to showcase various investment opportunities to the world to boost the country's gross domestic product.
The untapped economic potentials and comparative advantages of Africa are really great. These are found in agriculture, mineral resources, energy, education, aviation, ICT, emerging technologies, social enterprises, and many others. Although project funding, credit, and infrastructural financing, among others, have been a major challenge, ISLAC Africa believes that with global partnership, we shall make it happen. It's not only Nigeria that has security problems. We are giving people confidence that Nigeria can still be a place to do business and that there are things here that could attract people to come and do something here. Our mineral resources, our businesses, our untapped opportunities that are still here.
Let us not limit this just to Nigeria. Let us reach out to our missions. We will like to work with what you have. We will look at this and see how we can add value to it. Our desire is to make it happen. You know, like our colleague from Congo said, that Africa has all it takes to develop Africa. And our goal should be Africa developing Africa. And Africa cannot develop Africa until Africa begins to help Africa. We need to start helping each other. Your goal, your vision must not be allowed to die down if I can help your vision. So we're going to help your vision in every way possible.
Now, the United Nations Refugee Agency says over 4.4 million Ukrainian refugees have fled their country since Russian President Vladimir Putin ordered an invasion on February 24th. This comes after Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that he expects a firm global response to the deadly missile strike that killed more than 50 people at a train station in Kramatorsk on Friday. President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Saturday that Ukraine is ready for a tough battle with Russian forces amassing in the east of the country a day after a missile attack in the east that officials said killed more than 50 civilians trying to evacuate at Kramatorsk rail station. European Commission Chief Ursula von der Leyen said that in Warsaw on Saturday that a global pledging event for Ukraine refugees called Stand Up for Ukraine has raised 10.1 billion euros for people fleeing bombs inside and outside Ukraine, with an additional billion pledged by the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development. And now in sports news, first ever Para Sport Festival kicks off in Abuja, where para athletes across Nigeria converge for the event. Trust TV's Adeni Ajishafe has more.
21 states, including FCT, participate in the opening ceremony of Nigerian Para Games that kick off at Moshood Abiola Stadium, Abuja. Para athletes in different colors file out to herald first ever Para Sport Festival in Nigeria. Minister of Youth and Sport Development, Sunday Dare, accompanied by Minister of Women Affairs, Dame Pauline Tallen, while declaring open Para Festival, says talents will be discovered as Nigeria prepares for Commonwealth Games, and hopefully some of them will represent Nigeria in Birmingham.
Well, this is the very first national Para Sports. And like I said, it's trying to bring the mandate of the Ministry of Youth and Sports in alignment with the vision of Mr. President. Under Mr. President, President Muhammadu Buhari, we've had the Disability Act signed into law. We've had the establishment of the Disability Commission. At the National Assembly, we have committees chaired by our lawmakers. So this is in alignment with that. We believe, like I said, there's ability in their disability. The most recent Olympics, we saw what they did. They gave us our greatest number of gold medals. Previous Olympic, they did the same thing. At the Commonwealth, the same thing. If there's no competition, no athlete can improve and excel. And we felt that they deserve their own special national sports competition. Don't also forget, in December last year, this ministry created for the very first time a department for para athletics.
Chairman, Local Organizing Committee Peter Nelson expressed joy that Para Games keeps off on a good note as a lot of Nigerians support the cause to have a festival for para sports.
I don't know how to express my sincere appreciation for the turnout first and foremost, and seeing close to around 400 to 500 honorable ministers and about 3 chief of staff being present at this occasion. It gives a very great omen, meaning that the Nigerian government are actually interested in this. Their being around has really set the ball rolling.
Para athlete Aiku Olushola from Ondo State says his expectation is to win gold while competing in 3 different para events at Para Games.
I was so impressed that the Federal Minister of Youth and Sport organized the first Para Festival. So my expectation from my state is that we are all prepared and we came here to win a lot of medals.
Para Sport Festival, we have para athletes competing in 15 events, which includes para athletics, para swimming, deaf sport, and more. That's Sport News. I am Adeni Ajishafe.
Still on sports, the ex-tennis star Boris Becker has been found guilty of 4 charges under the Insolvency Act relating to his 2017 bankruptcy. The former world #1 is accused of hiding millions of pounds worth of assets to avoid paying his debt. He was found guilty of transferring hundreds of thousands of pounds from his business account after his bankruptcy, failing to declare a property in Germany and concealing £825,000 of debt. The 54-year-old was acquitted of a further 20 charges at London's Southwark Crown Court on Friday. He was declared of 9 counts of failing to hand over trophies and medals from his tennis career, including 2 Wimbledon men's singles trophies. He could face a jail sentence carrying a maximum term of 7 years for each count. And that wraps up the news hour on Trust Television. But you can connect with us via our social media platforms and subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch us live and watch other programs. I am Ayuba Ilia. Thank you for watching.